We formed Capstone to be the greatest partnership dental management company the country's ever seen. Before Capstone came to be in the partnership model that existed, there's really only two paths. Originally, the main path was you own a practice yourself, you do all the management, you do all the funding, you do all the marketing, and that still is a good path for many dentists. There was also an opportunity to go down the path of being an employed dentist, either as an associate or as an employee of a larger corporate dentistry practice. So what we've done at Capstone is essentially a hybrid and taken the best of those two paths and brought them both together. So now you can have a significant stake in the equity or the ownership of the practice. Plus, you get to control what happens in that practice from a clinical standpoint and from a patient standpoint. You also get the benefits of being part of a much larger organization. So you're no longer having to operate by yourself and manage at midnight. A Capstone partnership means that you now have a vested interest business partner that will help you deal with the bumps in the road that come from growing and managing in today's dentistry environment.
I had reached the point in my career where I was looking for a change. Just the management aspect, the marketing considerations, all those things were preventing me from practicing the way I wanted to. So I was looking for an alternative, and Capstone was good for me. Took all that off my plate, allowed me to practice the way I wanted to, and it's really a great feeling to know that I've got an extended team working behind me to take care of those things that I really had gotten tired of tending to. You go home at night, you're not finished. You've got to think about what direction is the practice going to take in terms of helping it to grow, helping to keep the team motivated, making sure the book's balanced, all the financial considerations as well. And it's a lot to take on for one individual. The tools they provide have allowed me to not have to focus on those things yet, focus on the care for the patients and how we can tend to their needs.
Capstone became more than just a way for me to practice dentistry and to grow, but it's also a way for me to encourage better dentistry and to compete in a market that is ever becoming more corporatized. What I found Capstone to do for me is allow me to focus on the dentist I want to be, but at the same time have an office and encourage a culture that makes sense for me. It's also allowed me not to be overwhelmed, not to be drowned by the business side of dentistry. And without having the business side of dentistry influence me unawares. It's a nice breath of fresh air to know that there's a partner who is just as excited about getting this hurdle taken care of, who's not being paid by the hour, who's actually going to benefit when you succeed at getting this problem resolved, and in the best interest of getting it resolved correctly. Not just, here's my fee, here's my contract, and okay, I've got it fixed and I'm off. These are people who are in it to the finish line. And that allows me to drive home with a sense of peace that I didn't think I would ever have by owning my own practice.
Capstone allowed me to focus more on patients and patient care and took over all of the stuff that was difficult for me, that I hadn't been trained to do. I was able to give up human resources. I'm able to focus in on patients while the bills get paid. I've been able to focus in on some education that I wanted to do and some mentoring that I wanted to do with up-and-coming dentists and students and introduce them into dentistry, which I just didn't have the time to do when I was not working with Capstone. I have been able to now take that time that I was spending after clinical hours in the office and spend it now with my family. I've been able to spend time fly fishing more with my boys, spending more time with my wife and actually taking her on a date once in a while, and not spending my weekends doing book work here in the office. Capstone's really allowed me to free up my personal time, which is so valuable at this stage in my family's life.
Dentistry can be a very rewarding career. It can also be a very time-consuming and stressful career if you are having to end up managing all the aspects of a dental practice. A Capstone Partnership does two things. It allows you to focus on the things that you do best at work, and it frees up your time to do the things you want to do outside of work.